All right, folks, so it is day 70. 70 days into this intermittent fasting lifestyle protocol. And I'm just riding by one of the old cotton mills we have down here in the south. That thing used to be beautiful. All that's left is the chimney stack and the corners of the place. These companies, they buy these old cotton mills like that, and they strip out the old brick, to sell off, because now it's, a popular thing to get a hold of that older material and rework it into something new to make it look old. And they also strip out those metal ceilings and those hardwood floors in places like that to also resell to rich folks, because you can't get those quality of hardwood floors anymore. So that's what happens to all of our cotton mills down here, especially the old ones like that. That one was built right at the last of the 1800s. I want to say around between the 1880s and somewhere between 1899, somewhere just at the turn of the next century, just at the turn of the 1900s. But I didn't work there when it was a mill. I used to work for a place. Phone call. I'll get back with you. Alright, sorry about that. So, like I was saying, those old mills, they're just being used for the historical materials that are inside them, and they're getting tore down and destroyed and distributed all over the place. There is big money in that, which is a shame, because, like I said, some of those were the closest things to castles that we actually have. Alright, so I'm back at the house early today. It is 4 p.m. and still have an hour of eating window left. But I am done for today. I can tell you that now. My mother-in-law, my wife's mom, come up to see Janice, and we decided to go back to that restaurant where I got the steak fingers, and I got some steak fingers again. I've been a creature of habit this week. I'm so sorry. I know you probably get tired of seeing me eat the same old things, but that'll just make it more interesting later when I eat something different, right? So the plan was to do Subway, like it is on the weekend. But right now my schedule is so off that I kind of, at the moment, just have to go with whatever becomes available for me to eat at the time. And I do not regret eating them steak fingers. Like I said, I ate another steak finger sandwich out of it. I'll tell you, it's so good. And I stacked a couple of them onion rings on that steak finger sandwich this time. They got their own house barbecue sauce. They call it barbecue sauce, but it really don't taste like any kind of barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. But it is good. It's got a sweet flavor to it, and it's got like little tiny chunks of onion and stuff in it. It's so good. I wouldn't call it barbecue sauce, but that's what they call it. I really enjoy it, and it tastes so good on that sandwich. I would like to know how they make that, because I would definitely mimic that recipe. But I wasn't able to eat all of it this time. I have a good bit of onion rings that I brought home with me this time, and I had one steak finger left. I took 2 bites of it about an hour ago, and I fed the rest to my begging dog. So there is no more steak fingers left, and I will try to feed those onion rings to my son if he wants them. If not, I'm pretty sure he'll eat them, though. That boy loves the same things I love, so it will not go to waste. So I had to get my daughter about an hour and a half early today. That's why I'm home so early this afternoon. And whew, that's better. Put on my blue light blockers. I got a big computer screen, and these really help with blocking the glare that comes into my eyes, because it helps me to keep from squinting when I'm talking to you guys. The wife and I, we went grocery shopping before we picked my daughter up. We got to the town where she goes to school a little earlier, and which is a good thing, because the schools haven't let out around there yet, and we went in the grocery store and got a few things. My wife, she wanted some of those red grapes and some blueberries and a couple of things like that to try out over the weekend. She loves those red sweet grapes. I like them too. She'll be fussing at me for digging into those later. That's her personal snack. But we did that, and see, what else did we do? Yeah, then of course we went and picked up my daughter, and now we are back at home, which brings us to right now. So we're all caught up. There's some things that I wanted to talk about that I will get back to you in a little while as the sun sets, and we will do them in the afterthoughts. Can't remember exactly what they all were right now, but y'all stay tuned for that. Alright, so the sun is setting on the day. And it is 5:50 p.m. in the afternoon, and these are my afterthoughts. I want to talk a little bit about how close I am getting in weight to where I was when I lost the most amount when I was doing keto, which was at this time last year. I was still doing keto. I was about ready to break the diet and give it up about this time last year, because I remember it was not too long after my daughter's birthday party, and I had plateaued all the way back in September of 2020, and I quit recording videos because I went down around the 280s, the upper 280s on keto, just doing straight keto, no intermittent fasting, none of that, just sticking to a straight ketogenic diet. And I loved the diet. It was also very good for controlling heartburn. Right out of the gate, it was good for that. But the problem with keto and a busy lifestyle like what I have is I just can't be around to prepare all my foods and meals like I did during the pandemic. So that became a real problem, trying to get food on the go like you see me doing all the time now. And like I said, both of my children are autistic, so circumstances do play a role in what you're doing. My children go to school in 2 different towns in 2 separate counties. Well, my son, he's 27, so he doesn't go to school technically, but we still tell him at school. But he goes to an adult daycare program with other adults in there, and they do activities with them, feed them while they're there. It gives them something to do outside of the home. So we're lucky that he has that, because not only does it give him a break from us, but it gives us a break from him. And dealing with a situation like this is very extreme, and trust me, you need that time away from them. And they need that time away from us as well, because at some point in life, we may not be there for them. and it is good that they can have that time away from us to adjust, because you never know. None of us are promised tomorrow, not even the ones of us who need to be here for someone else. So yep, people ask me all the time, or people used to ask me all the time. They don't now, but in my youth they would ask me, well, what if it ever becomes a day where you can't take care of them? And I would always say the same thing: God gave them to me for a reason, and that day will have to come before I will ever face it. So so far that day has not come yet, but you know, that time comes for us all, and it's easy to say, probably harder to do. But like I said, there may come a point in my life, that my health or whatever may not allow me to be the one to be their caregiver. They may become wards of the state at some point. Those are things that I can say comfortably because I am 50 years old, and the questions have raced through my mind 1,000 times. I personally know parents out there who have aged out, taking care of their special needs child, and they had to face those things, and seeing the looks and the hurt and the pain in their faces helped us to realize that this could be us someday. It's something you need to learn to talk about in order to face it if it ever is thrown in front of you. So definitely, having all of that in place, knowing the situation they're going to be going to is going to be something that eases your mind, because I know we're involved with the county and the special needs groups and stuff out there, and I have seen the group. Really, Oscar? He gonna find a way to make noise, I'll tell you. But seeing the groups out there, and we know special needs people. We've been involved with them. They're involved with us. They know who we are when we walk in, and we speak with them and have to do with them, and they have to do with us, who live that very lifestyle, and they're happy. They get to go out on trips to eat out places and stuff. Not so much since the pandemic. So I imagine they're pretty not happy with their current situations as the way they go, or the way that it's going for them. Sorry about the dog. He wants to interrupt me when I really have something good to say for a change. But yeah, I mean, they live good. I mean, they live real good. They cater them in pizzas, KFC, you name it. I mean, they live good. And the ones who can live independently live in their own apartments, have their own stove, have their own refrigerators. Of course, they are under supervision, but they live a good life. I'm here to tell you, some of them live a really good life, considering the circumstances of them having no one around. And they're happy. Gosh, they're so happy. So that gives me great comfort to know that places like that exist for them if I'm never around, or if my wife's never around to take care of them, or if our health just deteriorates to a point where we can't do it anymore. There is something out there for them. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. How I got so far off track to what I actually wanted to talk about, I don't know, but I'm glad I got that point out there. What else was I gonna say? Man, I had it all planned out, and now I just went way off in a different direction than I planned to. So, yeah, the thing about the keto, I had to give it up because of my life the way it is. Can't be there to prepare it all the time. I've got so much, on my plate that it just wasn't feasible for me. There's other options out there. I know you could go carnivore or this and that, but those options start to become really expensive. When you got to be on the road and eat like I am. So I got to thinking, man, what in the world am I going to do? Because I am so lost here without being able to do this keto. And I was losing weight, and even though I plateaued, at least I was sustaining the weight loss I had made, the progress I had made. So, I wasn't really sustaining. I was fluctuating up and down for about 10 pounds between 285 and 295. Man, it was a nasty fluctuation I could not break away from. And then one day, like I've said in the past, I magically heard one of the keto channels that I follow. There's all kind of large ones out there talk about intermittent fasting and how without it they wouldn't be able to keep the results they're having. Going down on the scale or maintaining. Most of them that I watched were maintaining at the point that that I was watching their videos, and I got to wondering, do you ever wonder? I mean, because you just don't know, do you? Are they really that into keto to the point where they're making all these delicious recipes, and are they really living that lifestyle? Or do they know what I know, that intermittent fasting works with any diet? I mean, let's just say, I'm doing the standard American diet. I can implement their diets as my lifestyle on the fly like that if I need to. If I need to continue and I think that's the way to go, then I can do that. But how stuck are they in that particular niche now that they've adopted it and put so many recipes out there and put so much talk into keto? How stuck are they to have to, do that, to rely on their followers to come back and keep track of what they're doing? Because, if they was to do like I'm doing and go out there and order a steak finger plate with onion rings and talk about how they lose weight and keep it off and eat what they want by implementing intermittent fasting, there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to be a little upset, don't you think? So I found it all a little misleading after a bit because I'm like, paying these high prices, to try to stay on a diet that I like, and in my mind I thought, this is it for the rest of my life. I'm this, and God has a way of opening doors, doesn't He, to show you what someone really is all about, So just seeing that, like, wait a minute, now I used to do this intermittent fasting as in my childhood to sustain and lose weight, and nobody told me what it was. I just knew about it, by following my peers and my elders, advice. So I knew about it, but it wasn't registering for some reason. Why did it take it so long to sink in that I already knew what I had to do in order to lose weight and keep it off? Because when I got married, I was a good weight size. Me and my wife both were. We weren't the skinniest people out there, but we were a decent weight size. To where we could be considered a healthy weight when we got married, and when we dated. When we were dating. So I was thinking, I used to maintain all the time. I can remember, I'd be at work, in my youth when I was about 21 or 22 before I got married, I was thinking to myself, back then I would eat a breakfast biscuit at Hardee's, and I love some Hardee's food, and I would eat stuff like the Frisco burger from Hardee's, with a large curly fry and stuff. When I got off work, that's what I would eat, and I would get off of work around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I would go eat immediately after I got off work, and that was it. I would not eat anything else. And I always maintain a healthy weight, and I was always thinking, how did I do it in the past, and it just didn't hit me that there was a method that I actually followed that was taught to me. I've forgotten. Being a new husband, a father to a child with a situation that I did not understand or know what was going on at the time when he was a baby. I kind of lost my way over the time, and there was times, where I'd fluctuate back down to a healthy weight, but then I'd always fluctuate back up. Food became my comfort in all of that. Something always becomes your comfort when you're facing adversities in your life. So, food was mine. Definitely my wife's as well. But there would be times where we wouldn't want to be overweight, and we would lose down, and we would do some diet like Atkins, or there's so many out there to choose from, isn't there? and we've tried them all. But this one, there's something special about doing it this way. Saw another popular YouTuber I used to watch recently was breathing into one of those Nooms, talking about they were sponsoring it, for that one video. Those Noom devices, that you see, you breathe into it, and it connects to an app, and it tells you, what you're burning as fuel, whether it's carbs or whether it's calories. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think you get the idea, right? And then it gives you a meal plan of what it thinks you should eat to continue to maintain and lose weight. And I'm thinking, why does diet, when it's so easy to figure out, have to be connected to technology? Why? What are people like that gonna do if one day the technology is taken away from us? You ever thought about what are you gonna do if one day the government says enough with everyone putting messages out there, we're tired of it, let's shut it all down, and people are just going to have to listen to what they get their information from, what they hear on television like they did in the past, or on the news. What if it all one day is taken away? How are those people going to live and maintain a healthy lifestyle when they've been taught to do it through technology that they're connected to? I weep for the day if that ever comes. Let's hope it doesn't go that far. I know that's really far-fetched, and it's probably never going to happen, but you never know, do you? What could actually happen? There's things that we see going on that we didn't think would ever happen already, but here we are. So to maintain your health, don't depend on technology. Depend on the knowledge of your elders, the people around you, and good old-fashioned horse sense, common sense will do a lot to get you by. That's all I have to say for now, because I've done said too much. I hope some of the things I have said make sense to you. We will see you tomorrow. Till then, you folks have a good one.